We are hitting stream.
Okay.
All right, there's a picture, and we are live. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 363, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm Steve.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, sometimes some Star Trek. All super chats are run on the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize the channel. We do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. Last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there.
That's right. Yeah, it is actually fun. One of the best Discord channels I belong to, ever, to be swear. It's fun. I have a whole bunch of things that I'm subscribed to on Discord that I rarely click on.
Yeah.
They're like, join our community. All right, I'll join it. Nothing's going on. You go to Jeff's, always something's going on.
Yeah, no, there's people who talk in there 24/7. It really is a around the world chat. It's a lot of fun. So, got a good Australia crew. We've got a good Norway and UK crew. We've got 3 different shifts of moderators. Steve's volume is low. I think I already adjusted that, so I'm going to give it another 30 or 60 seconds before I touch it again.
Okay. Yeah, and sometimes Jeff isn't available to answer questions, but we do have a lot of tech people on the channel that will typically pipe up and help you.
Huge amount of people with all kinds of different expertise. That's kind of the nice thing about communities like that is, especially if you're home lab centric or, IT professional, when you do content like that, you tend to attract other IT professional people. And there's a fantastic, help community that's on the Discord there.
Yeah. Screw going to a website with a fake pop-up and a fake person that you talk to get answers. Yeah. Just go on our Discord. There's real people there.
It's all just AI.
Yeah. It's all of Jeff's Discord just seems busy because it's AI.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I had some fantastic lunch today. Went out to Korean barbecue.
Oh, nice.
That was good. That was quite good. And I could definitely use a beer this evening.
Me too.
Because I have been working like crazy. I think I said it last week, but man, I thought running one company wasn't enough work, so I decided to start a second company.
Yeah. So it makes it easier when you do 2.
Right. We have one company, yes. What about second company?
When you have a kid, it's like, that one kid's so needy. I'll have the second kid so the one could entertain the other, and it'll be less work.
Right.
Your one business should be entertaining your other business.
Yeah. Well, eventually it'll work like that, or one business will bring business to the other business, and hopefully vice versa. But getting them both started it's a chore. Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work.
So and right now it's like a lot of the fiddly final stuff before launch. Like we're hoping to launch within the next couple of weeks. Yeah. And for those who don't know what we're talking about the Project Axe Effect temperature sensor, a temperature sensor designed for rack mount equipment, designed to be inexpensive and easy to deploy and work with any monitoring system that you want. But we're getting down to some of the fiddly bits right now, and so I've been receiving case samples over the last numerous days, and today we've finalized on the case that we want, and so I actually have one here. We got an aluminum extrusion case. There
you go. So, yeah, I remember we were talking about that when we were coming back from PDX LAN. You were looking for aluminum cases, like real solid ones, because the 3D printed cases are great for testing and alpha purposes. But you wanted something that felt solid.
Right. I want it to be a piece that actually gets screwed into a rack and feels like it belongs there. And so, we finally found a company that was willing to work with us on some design. We got some aluminum extrusions. These are phenomenally accurate, which is always important when you're sizing parts and trying to make things put together. So I gave the approval on this today. And also went out for the quote for our validation run of the upcoming boards, the Power over Ethernet enabled boards. So we should be getting 30 PoE validation boards fully assembled and ready to go. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. We'll be launching sometime before that, and as an update to the pre-order campaign, we'll be doing a validation run, and then some of those validation samples will also go out to reviewers, and so we'll be hopefully hitting those as well. But yeah, no, exciting stuff, but it's been like 4 to 6 hours a day for the last 2 weeks just on Axe Effect stuff.
Right.
So,
which means less time to crank out videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I've also been building a server here for the last couple of days for an upcoming video. I was hoping to get it out this weekend. I don't know how realistic that is because I'm taking a day off on Friday. Yeah. I was talking to Yakto over on the Discord server, and he goes, well, what's your goal for this? And I went, honestly, if I sell like 1,500 units, that'll help fund the next round of devices that I'm hoping to develop, because this is not going to be like a one and done kind of thing. Like I want to continue creating products, creating new innovative things for both the home lab and the small medium business, and eventually the enterprise space. 1,500 units, I think on the pre-sale, I'll be pretty happy with as far as like being able to pay for the work that's been done so far, pay off some of the debts that I have here, and also, further the company along. 2,500 units, maybe I'll take a couple of days off, kick my feet up on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
If I sell 5,000 units, you won't hear from me for a month. I'm going to be in frickin' Belize. So those are the expectations.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna lie low for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna want some world traveling.
Yeah.
You want some cocaine money?
Anyway, I could definitely use a drink tonight. I've got a couple. Yeah. I've got like 3 options in front of me. I'll probably only get to 2 of them. I've got 2 IPAs, and then I've got a classic craft beer out of Escondido, California. I'm sure you can guess what it is simply by that. But what are you drinking tonight? Let's start with you.
Okay, I got 2 things. One that I've been really waiting to try ever since you gave it to me, and I was like, I'm going to drink this one on the stream because I've been waiting for it. And we've lamented several times before on the show how much we love Dragon's Milk, but it's very hard to get any different varieties of Dragon's Milk out here. And so I am really excited to try the Dragon's Milk Crimson Keep, which is their bourbon barrel aged red ale. And we even talked about how red ales are seldom bourbon barrel aged. We hardly find them. So very excited to try this one.
And you will enjoy that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it, honestly. Next, I have from Black Raven Brewing, this is a Christmas one, Festivus.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one from them.
Yeah, this is a fairly new one. It is just an infused pale ale, and it does not say what is it infused with.
Sugar, spice, everything nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say butter, garlic. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it says layers of cranberries, orange, and allspice. Okay, so it's like very holiday spicy.
Okay,
we'll try it.
Cranberries, spice, orange, and Black Raven, and thus the Powerpuff Girls were born.
I know.
27 herbs and spices.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a great beer. Find out what the KFC herbs and spices are, and then put that in a beer and call it the KFC beer.
That'd be funny. So I've got, like I said, I've got 3 options here. I think I'm gonna go with this one first. So this is from the Chamonix Creek Brewing. They are out of Bucks County, Pennsylvania. This is a beer that was sent over every year on the Discord. We do a Secret Santa during the holidays, and this was sent over by Razor, my Secret Santa this year. So thank you very much. This is the Shade of Hops to Come. It's an IPA, 8.5%. And then I think I'm going to go for my number 2 beer. We've got a Stone. This was also sent over by Razor, but it's the Arrogant Bastard.
So, of course.
Yeah.
Classic Arrogant Bastard.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be number 2. I think I'm going to go with the Shape of Hops to Come for beer number 1.
Yeah, that's rated pretty high. Actually, I just looked that one up. Almost a 4.0. Which is good.
Fun fact about KFC is their Twitter account for like years. Apparently, they followed 27 guys named Herb and the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
So it was 27 herbs and spices.
And spice.
Yeah. The first person who figured that out, I guess they won like a year's free of KFC or something like that. The person who called him out on it.
And then he became the world's fattest man.
Right. Props to KFC for the funny memes on that though. Like,
that was clever. Yeah, I'm going for the Black Raven spiced up drunken Christmas.
Josh wants to know, ever have the Double Bastard? Of course.
Oh yes.
Classic. Jeff will become the dude at 10,000 units. Yes.
The dude will abide.
Beard will come down to here all of a sudden.
Yeah. You gotta get that hair to grow out.
Yeah. That's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have really big plans for Axe Effect and what the devices will become, and the market that I want to create with them. But you got to start somewhere. So yeah, we're starting with a power over Ethernet sensor. Like I said, I got the first. These are the pair of case samples that I got. I got 2 of these in. Dang it, it's up on the shelf already. If you can see behind me, right there, that's actually my 3D printed PCB sitting inside of one of these shells to make sure it fit and dimensions were accurate, and it did, and we're great. So yeah, all the little moving pieces that you have to have. So when you start talking about like economy of scale for projects like this, like there was nothing I loved / hated reading more than I said, I'm launching a product and it's based on the RP2040 and it's going to be a temperature sensor that you can read over SNMP. Is the flood of comments I got that said, I could do that with an ESP32 and ESP Home and whatnot. Yes, you can. You can't make a commercially viable product for $3 though. Not gonna happen. Like, well, I could 3D print an enclosure. Okay. 3D print 2,500 of them. And make sure your tolerances are good and make sure there's no bed failures or logistics issues that happen along the way. I was starting to count up what is actually going to be required to put these together because I'm aiming for like 2,500 units. I want to sell 2,500 units in this first run. And I went, well, there's 4 screws in the front and then there's 4 screws in the back. There's a front panel, there's a rear panel. One of that has rack ears with it. Do I include rack mount screws in there? Because that's additional cost. Do I need to include rack nuts, cage nuts, that kind of thing? Do I assume you bring your own? I think I'm going to assume you bring your own.
They have to have these nuts.
Yeah. Do I include a USB-C cable? Because that's an additional cost when everyone should have a USB-C cable already. So I think I'm going to let the USB-C cable slide. We will have an external sensor as an option on this that uses a 6P twisted pair RJ12. That will be an inclusion, but we also are going to include the specs of the cable. So if you wanted to make a longer one or whatever else, we're going to include a 6.5 foot cable with the purchase of the sensor, but that's an additional cost. But I went 4 screws in the front, 4 screws in the back, plus there's 2 internal screws for our air dam that we have over the internal sensor. I went, well, that's 2,500 units times 10 screws per unit. And you don't want to be digging the bottom of the... You're going to drop a dozen screws while you're screwing it together. You don't want to order just enough screws for each case.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 27,500 screws that I have to order just to build these. 2,500. If I order 2,500 of these cases, it's 370 kilograms of raw aluminum.
Yeah.
That I'm going to have to import. Like there's a whole set of logistics that, yeah, I kind of wish we could just do an ESP32 and slap it together. That'd be amazing. But that does not a commercial product make.
No, that would be, well, you know what? Start adding RGBs onto the side, then it'll just magically become a commercial product.
We do have a pair of RGBs.
Ah!
We made sure that was going to happen. So we do have a pair of RGBs. Yeah, Lane says PoE version on the way. PoE version is on the way.
I mean, it honestly makes sense, right?
Yeah. And yes, Josh, it is PoE. The new version. New version actually has triple power inputs. You can do PoE, passive or active, 24 or 54 volt. You can do a DC barrel jack between 12 and 54 volts. So if you have a DC power source in your rack, some racks use 54 volt DC, or you can power it over USB-C. All three of those are power options inside of this board. And the PoE is fully isolated. We wanted a fully isolated device as well, so we went through the engineering of custom designing a power circuit that was fully isolated for our needs. That's part of the cost and development time that's gone into this. Actually, a big chunk of it was the PoE section of it, making sure we did that right from the get-go. It's not just a PoE hat that's tossed on top of a Raspberry Pi. That's a non-isolated circuit. That's not exactly a safe thing to use.
No.
It's great for a hobbyist. It's not great for a commercial product.
Not if you're going to put it on a ton of servers. They would not like that at all.
Right. So yeah, no, we've done a lot of work on a lot of like little minuscule details to some people, but things that I think are vitally important. And I think that's going to show in the final product. So. Let's see. I guess we'll start off with this beer, the Neshaminy Creek, The Shape of Hops to Come. Right. This is different.
Yeah.
This is a different kind of IPA.
The different style of hops, or is there actually adjuncts or anything additional in there?
Different style of hop, way different flavor profile.
Okay.
Different body feel. Like, you can tell this is not a Northwest hop. It is a West Coast style Imperial IPA, is what they call it. Brewed with 2-row American barley and jam-packed with as much Citra, Euconaut, and Simcoe hops as we can get our hands on.
I was just going to say, Euconaut is not a very used hop. It's right. Kind of, I think is it new, I think.
Yeah, so Citra, typical West Coast IPA. Simcoe, typical Northwest IPA.
Yep.
But Euconaut, that's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Released in 2014, it says. So it's fairly new. Not widely used. I've seen it in a few beers before, but it's not very common.
This has a little bit of that. Gosh. They say piney.
Yeah.
This is not piney.
Resiny piney. We know what resiny and piney's like.
Right.
We know. Yeah.
I will say it's a bit resiny.
Okay.
It's very vegetal, but it's not grass. Like here, if we get like a dank IPA, it's very grassy. It's who was LSU's coach that would like nibble on grass throughout the games? Les Miles. It's not Les Miles' style of IPA. It's vegetal and like a celery and kale kind of. Yeah.
Like a healthy vegetable type of thing.
Right. Yeah. It's more akin to a salad than goat feed.
Yeah.
Body feel is really weird because it's a heavier IPA, but most of the flavors like sits way on top. So it's like you've got all this weight underneath it, but like no flavor there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. When it's kind of like thicker than regular, you expect a particular, I don't know, taste to go along with it, because usually it means they're sweeter. They're sweeter typically. That's not there though.
Right. No, it's thicker, but it's very vegetal and very bitter. It's a very, very different IPA than what I'm used to. Very good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, mine. I decided to go with the Black Raven. I'm going to hold off on the Dragon's Milk until later.
Yep.
Because I want to finish the evening with that one. And this one's pretty good. It doesn't knock my socks off, but I mean, it does say that there's those holiday spice notes are definitely there. I can't say that it blends particularly well with the pale ale. I mean, you can taste it, but there's also the bitter hops kind of at the end, and there's no citrusy notes to the hops. So it's just straight bitteriness.
Yeah.
So you get this kind of cinnamon-ish cranberry flavor up front with the bitterness in the back. And I can't, as a beer, it's not too bad, but not my favorite. It's okay. I'd give it like a 3 or something like that if I was checking into Untapped right now.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It tastes kind of like tea.
Okay.
I guess. Like it's like a tea.
Nice. Cosworth chimes in with $5. Thank you so much. Speaking of 3D printing, making a Pacific Northwest octopus Christmas tree topper. Wish me luck. Also, happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays to you as well.
Oh, okay. Like an actual octopus.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I thought for some reason there was the octopus was going to have like a beard and wearing like plaid. I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Here. I'll post that in chat. Pacific Northwest octopus tree topper.
Oh, god dang it. Oh, yeah. It's just a standard old octopus.
Yep. There he is. So, little known fact about me. I'm certified diver. And I actually used to volunteer at the Newport Aquarium on the Oregon coast. And I didn't my dad actually dove there and was one of the tank maintainers. So Passages of the Deep, when they got rid of Keiko, the tunnels that you walk through, he was part of the crew that would go and help clean that. I also volunteered there, and I was a dive tender, and so I would get the divers in and out of the water and direct them around the tank and make sure no one got eaten by sharks and crap like that. Also, part of my job was pull feeding some of the sharks, which is exactly what it sounds like.
You just give them little treats at the end of a pole. Here you guys go.
Yeah, you get a PVC pole with like a little rubber hook on the end of it, and you put this like giant chunk of salmon on it. And you'd hook the salmon on, and you'd look down at these, 7, 8, 9 foot long, 7 gill sharks. And as they're swimming along the top, and you'd sink the pole down in the water right in front of them, and the pole would go, and you'd pull the pole up, and there's no fish on there anymore.
Yeah. And they're like, what? No dipping sauce? I want a little tartar sauce next time.
Yeah. The reason I bring that up is for a time they actually had a Pacific octopus in one of the exhibits. It was in the Port Orford exhibit. And it was going through its senescing phase, which is its reproductive phase near the end of its lifespan. And which means it was very active and very friendly. And so it would actually come up to the top of the tank while the divers were in there, and it would come and sucker my hand and have a full-on conversation with me while the divers were in there. He'd go check the divers out, and then he'd come back and sit near the top of the tank. And I used to chat with him all the time. And then at one point, I walked down into the tunnels, and it's really cool at like 4 a.m. when you're in the tunnels because you're completely alone. and all the lights in the inside of the exhibit are off, but all the lights in the aquarium itself are on, and so it's this real eerie kind of calm feeling. But the octopus came over the top of the tank one time and threw its tentacles completely over the sides and was just sitting on the top of the tank, and that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, they're really smart. I mean, octopuses are really smart, and they can escape just about anywhere because they're so malleable. Yep. they're basically a living Play-Doh.
Yeah, they don't have any bones. They're all muscle, and so they're like a full octopus, like body the size of my head, can fit through a thing about the size of my nose, about a hole about the size of a quarter.
Yeah.
They're absolutely insane. Zach, also known as Yocto, chimes in with a $500 super chat.
Many thanks,
my friend. Have a Merry Christmas. Thanks again for all the wonderful content in 2024, and looking forward to all the great things in the new year coming next year. Thank you very much. Yocto, not only good friend of the channel, has become a really good friend of mine throughout the last couple of years, so thank you very much.
Always has the biggest monitors at the LAN.
Yes. Yeah, if you come to PDX LAN and you see the Odyssey Arc, the 59-inch curved LCD, that's Yocto.
Yeah.
Come say hi.
You can't miss him. You cannot miss him.
Yeah, they can fit through anything smaller than their beak. 55-inch. Excuse me.
55-inch. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Excuse me. So, let's see. We do have some news to talk about. Being just a couple of weeks before CES.
Oh, do we want to do any beer shoutouts?
Yeah, we could probably get to a couple of those. That's true. Yeah, let's scroll up in the chat here. Do you have any handy already?
I was just scrolling back. I was gonna say what was the first one.
Like Jason looks like might be your first one.
Okay. Oh no, the Terror Pup Hazelnut Chocolate Double Stout tonight. Is that Rogue? I'm guessing Rogue. It doesn't say who it's from.
Hazelnut Chocolate Double Stout. I know the Chocolate Double Stout is Rogue, so I'm guessing we might have a hazelnut version.
Maybe. I don't know. Didn't say. What else we got?
No, that's from Craft Explorers.
Oh, no. Never heard of them.
Yeah.
From Jason Budney76, Bourbon Barrel Peach Hard Cider by Teton Cider Works, which I think I've seen that one before. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Which one was that? Hold on. Which cider was that from Teton? I might have one of those in my fridge.
That was the bourbon barrel aged peach hard cider. It sounds
I don't have that one. Yeah.
I've seen that one before, and I'm like, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Let's see. Williams got a Shell's cave-aged, barrel-aged black lager. 10% black lager.
Black lager? Wow.
Good Lord.
That's gotta be super. I mean, it's a lager. So lagers are just straight malt, right? But they're just cold fermented. Being 10%, that's gotta be sweet. That's gotta be sweet malt. That's gotta be like what is malt liquor is what that is.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really interested in that.
Cave aged, barrel aged black lager. Is cave age a thing?
I believe it is a thing because it's a higher moisture content and a cooler environment. And so whereas normal cellar aging, you'd be, 65, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Cave aging is the temperature of the earth, which is 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
Huh. He didn't say what the beer was named, though. But it's from Shell's Brewery.
Might just be the cave-aged, barrel-aged black lager.
It might be. Some breweries do not have an imagination when it comes to their names.
Yeah, Shell's Brewery, cave-aged, barrel-aged.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Cave-aged, barrel-aged.
That's literally the name of it. Cave-aged, barrel-aged. 10% black lager. High in alcohol content. No kidding. With hints of sweet caramel, oak, and vanilla.
Oh, yeah. It's got a 4.04 average.
There you go.
Pretty high up there.
That'll get it done. Jonathan Badger's got a Twisted Tea.
Cool.
Cry for You's got a Modelo Especial. Yes. Josh has a UBE IPA by Goal at my local craft bar. Novella's got an Icewind Brewing.
I just want to think Icewind Dale whenever I see those.
Yeah. Icewind Brewing, Ludicrous Speed Hazy IPA.
Nice.
5.4%. Rev has a Total Domination, Ninkasi, 7%, yep. Standard Northwest IPA.
Standard, yep. Very much a Northwest IPA.
Yep. Net Guy says, which beer goes best with a sinus cold? 14% triple? Yes.
No, I said bourbon barrel-aged NyQuil.
Bourbon barrel-aged NyQuil. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Actually, a good hazy might help clear you out a little bit. Like an Imperial Hazy.
Horseradish infused hazy. That'll definitely clear you out.
Or, I've done a hot toddy on the show a number of times. Do the Jeffrey Morgenthaler hot toddy. Look it up. It is powdered apple cider. So the apple cider drink mix that you get from the store. Don't brew it too hot, though, because the distillation temperature of alcohol is 158 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you pour boiling water in and then immediately dump your whiskey in,
you're going
to flash boil all of your ethanol out of it. Don't do that. So if you ever make a hot drink, do it at 150 or less. You'll still lose some to distillation, but not nearly as much. So yeah, make your cider about 150 degrees. Pour in 1.5 ounces of a really good rye whiskey. Drop in a cinnamon stick and a dollop of butter.
Butter sounds interesting.
It gives almost like a butter crust flavor to the hot toddy, plus the cinnamon stick. You get all the spices, cranked up a notch in the apple cider, and a real rye whiskey. You get a little peppercorn on the front end of it too. The Jeffrey Morgenthaler apple cider or hot toddy is. Because we ran out, because my wife loves bourbon furnaces, which is a type of hot toddy,
and so we get those every year for Christmas. And I'd never thought about putting butter in it, like actual butter.
Just a dollop of butter. Just
a dollop of butter.
Yep. The thinnest slice you can, and just drop it right on top.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
No honey or anything like that. The sweetness is just coming from the packet.
Yep.
Bourbon,
sweetness from the packet.
Apple, butter.
Yep.
Okay.
And a cinnamon stick. Drop a cinnamon stick.
Oh, and a cinnamon stick. Yeah.
Get a little one of the little 3-inch cinnamon sticks.
Yep. Yeah, we get those for almost all of the hot toddies we do have a cinnamon stick in it. Yeah.
But no, that is the best hot toddy you will ever have.
Okay. I want to think. Do I have a decent rye out there? I think I do.
You could do a rye. You could do a bourbon as well. I prefer the rye. It's a little spicier, and it kind of adds to that whole cinnamon, kind of flavor.
I don't want to go off course here, but I had a bourbon that was aged in some Brazilian specialty wood. I forget what it was really unique because the end product, because you know how most bourbons, because they're aged in North American white oak, they tend to have like those caramel flavors and the vanilla flavors and stuff like that. But this was aged in some kind of like Brazilian wood. I forget the name, but it came out very like cinnamon forward. Like it had there's no cinnamon added to it at all, but it kind of had like spiced cinnamon flavor to the whiskey.
Yeah, interesting.
And it had, because it was a different type of wood, it almost had a little bit more of an oily texture to it.
Okay.
So it kind of like when you said the butteriness to it, that's kind of what reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh, the butter in that drink is just fire. It is so good. And it doesn't take much at all. It's just enough to give you like the essence of apple pie crust.
Yeah. That's good.
So good.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
All right, after party. It's my drink for the after party.
There you go. Love the enthusiasm. And sorry, I've been rewatching Disenchantment lately. The Matt Groening medieval. That's one of Lucy's things. Is do it, 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 do it.
Yep.
All right. Old Poi has got an Imbongo Tropical IPA, 5.5% from Cooperative Brewery.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
What?
Apparently, hold on. We can get it delivered. Cave aged, barrel aged.
Oh, we can.
6-pack for $15.
It's not bad. That's actually decent.
Six-pack for $15.
Is this what is this, Total Wine or something?
Viking Liquor Barrel. I need to see if they will deliver to
Oregon.
To Oregon. It's a Minnesota one, so I doubt it. But,
yeah, probably not.
I think I'm gonna have to find that.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds super interesting.
Yeah, Novella just pinged me on Discord and said, "Do I add to cart? Click on buy?" Yes, I think you click on buy for $15. All right. Rev mentions that Tawny Newsome is working on a live-action comedy Star Trek that takes place in the post-TNG period, much like Lower Decks. So Tawny Newsome, for those who don't know, is the voice actor for Beckett Mariner on Lower Decks. And Lower Decks, I believe this Thursday is the last episode. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's ending with a 5-season run. And no one wants to see it go.
Yeah.
I've watched the first 3 episodes, and then I was waiting for the last episode because I'm just going to binge the crap out of that this weekend.
You haven't watched any of this season?
I've watched the first 3 episodes from this season.
Okay.
But I've got 7 to go on Saturday.
Last week's was great. You're going to love it.
Yeah. No, I heard last week's was great. I caught minor spoilers of the Bashir Garrick crossover.
Yeah. Are all the different Ensign Kims
and a 2-pip Ensign and a 2-pip Kim. A 2-pip Kim. Yeah.
He was like the leader of the Kims. He's a 2-pip Kim.
Yeah, no, last week's episode was so meme worthy that it was transcending the spoiler tags that I had set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did see I saw the kiss. I saw the yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, no, my wife and I are getting away for a night, and
good.
So I think we're gonna spend Friday night having pizza and watching Lower Decks, binge watching Lower Decks. So
nice.
GT Wannabe says Bashir Garrick bromance. It evolved.
Yeah.
The inhibitions are no longer there. I'm just a plain, simple tailor.
Yep.
Bashir said, "But what if you could be so much more?" Am I ready for Section 31? I am always ready for new Trek. I'm always ready for new Star Trek.
I mean, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm disappointed, but always ready to try something new.
Yep. All right. Well, we do have some news to get to. Maybe we'll circle back around
a little
to
bit
some
of
Star Trek talk.
Yeah, we can.
At least I'm not the only one who violates embargo from time to time. Zotac may have accidentally confirmed all of the CES announcements for Nvidia. Zotac has published on their page shots of a new series of GPUs, including their Lightning and Amp series, purportedly of the 5000 series cards. They also have a pull-down menu that was live for a short amount of time. That includes the 5090, 5090D, 5080, 5070 Ti, and the 5070. That's a lineup if that's what's going to be announced at CES. But the fact that they published those 5 in particular leads me to believe that those are the 5 that will be announced at CES.
Yes.
If I were a betting man.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Right. There was actually rumor that there would be a 5080D because the 5080 may be too powerful for the embargoes as well. But we see a distinct lack of a 5080D on that particular card. But we do have the 5090D supposedly confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got 5 graphics cards here. And we also have some potential video memory numbers, including a 32 gigabyte model, which is purportedly to be the 5090, of GDDR7, by the way. So we are getting GDDR7.
Oh, nice.
And we're getting a 24 gig model, a 16 gig model, and a 12 gig model. Now, we've also got some CUDA core counts for these proposed cards as well, with the same CUDA core numbers between the 5090 and the 5090D at 21,760, up from the 18,700 and some odd of the RTX 4090. We've got the 5080 sitting there at 10,752, which I will have to refresh my memory on the 4080 numbers. Hold on. Sorry, I don't keep all of them in my head. 9,728. Wow. So an increase of about 15%. Not a shabby increase at all. Maybe trending 20. Let's see. 10,752. 9728. 10.5% increase.
Okay.
So, yeah. The RTX 5070 Ti with 8,960, just shy of the 4080 number, and then the RTX 5070, which, God, I hate this. There's 2 different GPU dies in use here. There's the GB203 and the GB205. Those should not be the same number card again. Nvidia.
They do this all the time, right?
Yeah,
they do this all the time.
That's going to be a huge point of contention with a number of people, especially if their price point is anywhere close to one another. Yeah, I'm going to say right out of the gate, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
If the rumor is true.
Yeah. 3/4 of the memory and 2/3 of the CUDA cores, and you're calling yourself the same base number. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a pretty wide difference, isn't it?
Yeah. That's 6,400 versus 8,700 CUDA cores. That's a big difference.
I mean, you're going for the 70 Ti to the 80, or even just the 70 to the 80. Having that big of a difference makes sense, Yeah. But having the same core number and being that big of a difference, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, maybe if they offer the 5070 a much, much lower price point.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a way different price point in order for this to remotely make sense. But we've seen Nvidia do similar things like this in the past, where it's a different die and a same name or same series of cards. So 70 versus 70 Ti series. I mean, look even right now at the 4070 versus the 4070 Super. The 4070 Super is 30% faster. Mm-hmm. But it's only $50 more expensive. It's $549 versus $599 current pricing.
Yeah.
The 5070 or the 4070 Super is basically on par with performance with an RTX 3090. Yeah. The 4070 is like 10% faster than a 3070. Like it's not even close to the same card.
Yeah. But yet, just from the nomenclature, the names, it makes it sound like they're right next to each other.
Right, and their pricing is so similar that it makes it seem like you'd be getting a decent card for $550 versus $600. Oh, it can't be that much worse, can it? Yes, it can.
Yes, it is.
It's significantly worse.
Yeah. Those are weasel numbers. Weasel numbers.
So other than that, I am encouraged to see the amount of memory that we're getting. So 32 gigs on the 5090. Yeah. I think it's about time for a bump in memory on the 90 series card from 24 to 32. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of a bump that makes sense. Same thing with the 80 series card. If we get 24 gigs on the 80 series, I think that is well past time from 16, especially with the increase of AI processing and people who were buying this card simply for literal number crunching rather than graphics utilization. But I'm assuming 16 gigs on the 5070 Ti. I like that number. And I'm assuming 12 gigs on the 5070. I also like that number. There's been a lot of talk about 8 gigs is not enough video memory today. And
yeah. I mean, I guess if you're doing high-res texture packs and stuff like that, they may have a point. But if you don't go to 4K high-res texture packs, 8 gigs is still comfortable, even at higher resolutions.
8 gigs is still plenty comfortable for 1080p.
Yeah,
with like 3 games that are outliers, and I've done a number of tests on 1080p. Gaming. Number one, if you're buying a new graphics card today, you're not gaming at 1080p.
No.
The numbers say you're not gaming at 1080p. You can get a 1440p monitor for $130.
They're so dirt cheap now.
Yeah. You can get a high refresh rate 1440p monitor for $130 today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculously cheap now.
You're not gaming at 1080p. No one's gaming at 1080p who's buying a brand new graphics card. Right. So the new metric is 1440p. It does need more... You do need more memory at 1440p than you do at 1080p, but 12 gigs is still more than enough for 1440p gaming. Oh, yeah. And also, I always want to bring up real world scenarios of people's expectations versus reality versus how are graphics cards actually used. Because, and I'm going to take a little bit different angle today than I have. Like, it seems we always come back to this argument, or my statement on benchmarks today and what is a review of a card and things like that. And, obviously I try to root all of my consumer advice in real world scenarios, but if you buy a brand new 5070, are you running every single game at Ultra?
Yeah.
I would like to think yes. I would like to think a lot of people can just set it at Ultra and forget it. But there are some games that 12 gigs is probably going to be a limitation of that. You've got some really demanding graphically intense games. Hogwarts Legacy comes to mind.
Well, the new Indiana Jones ones has got some pretty insane requirements. I think they even require Jones, a ray traced card.
Forbidden West comes to mind. Games like that are hugely graphically intensive. Ultra settings may not be realistic even at 1440p. if you want to get greater than 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
And that's another point of contention is with the availability of high refresh rate monitors, I don't think 60 FPS is the target anymore. I think it's 90
you're going to want
120.
higher. Yeah. Yeah, you want to crank those numbers up.
Right.
I mean, it depends on what you want. If you're playing competitive online, you probably want, the higher refresh rate.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're playing, like you said, you mentioned Hogwarts Legacy. That's a single player game. If you're fluctuating between 50 and 60, you'll be fine.
Yep.
You'll be okay.
Yep. I've also said it really depends on what game you're playing and what your expectations for that game are as well. Again, real world expectations.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy, not a Twitch shooter.
No.
Horizon Zero Dawn, also not a Twitch shooter.
Mm-mm.
Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 is a Twitch shooter. Going to be a Twitch shooter. It is going to be a reaction time matters. It's cooperative multiplayer, but it is multiplayer, and your performance is dependent on that. So out of Borderlands 4, I want 144.
Yeah.
And I don't want stutters. I don't want a 0.1% low of 60. Yeah, I want 144 locked with a 0.1% low of 95. But more theatrical games, Zero Dawn, or Forbidden West. 60 is probably fine.
Yeah.
So some of this is going to come down to the expectation of gamers and the realistic settings that they apply to the games that they play and the expectations that they have for various games that they play. No one plays CS2 competitively at 1440p ultra settings. You're at 1080 low.
Yeah.
Because you want 1,000 frames per second on a 4090.
You want that quick reaction time. Yeah.
Right. So it's always funny how we always try to base, you always try to control for variables. I hate to break it to you, but variables are also what make the experience.
Yeah. Oh, all the time. Like when everybody says, "Oh, what's the best for this?" I'm like, "Well, it depends."
Yep.
It really depends.
Yeah.
I know people hate that answer because they want a simple, quick answer.
Yep.
But it always comes down to, well, it depends. What exactly are you looking for? What exactly are you going to use it for?
Yeah. However, what's really funny is the same anal retentive gamers who go like, "No, 144 or die, and Nvidia's just taking advantage of you."
Yeah.
Go like, the Steam Deck is the greatest thing ever made because I can pick it up and play my games on the go. You realize you're playing at 720p low at 40 FPS, right?
Yeah.
So
they just don't notice it because it's a small screen.
So which is it?
Which is it? Yeah. It's a use case.
Which standard are you holding yourself for? Are you saying that variables exist in the real world and I'm willing to take, different pluses and minuses and pros and cons depending on the device I'm playing in and the environment I'm playing in and the types of games I'm playing? Which is it?
Yeah.
Because even the top end performance APUs today struggle against an RTX 3050, which every reviewer said was a waste of sand. A 3050 dominates even the 890M graphics APU from AMD in the all new 370 HX. So which is it? Are you happy with 1080 low settings and 60 FPS, or are you not?
Yeah.
The answer is it depends. And the reason is because we have different expectations about expectations. Unreal Tournament, Instagib, 100,000 FPS, only way to game. I agree.
Exactly. Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, we did that at one of the LAN parties where we had, I don't know, what was like a couple of hours of just Instagib.
Yeah.
Man, was that intense. That was so intense.
Old Boy says, I play Fortnite competitively and run performance mode at 1440p. Yeah, I know a lot of Rocket League players who play at 1440p, but they play in performance mode with a lot of the eye candy turned off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play a lot of games competitively. I play almost no games competitively. And I like a lot of my eye candy turned on. But I'm also willing to play at high settings instead of ultra extreme face melting settings.
Yeah. Well, I forget which Unreal Tournament, excuse me, Battlefield. There was a Battlefield. I can't remember which one. It was either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Where a like you said, eye candy, specifically the grass.
Grass. Yeah.
So you would set the settings to low, it wouldn't render the grass.
Yep.
But the people who set the settings to high
would try to hide in the grass.
They would try to hide in the grass. So the people low was like, what are you doing? Just laying on the ground there.
Yeah. No, that was a thing in Battlefield. That was also a huge thing in PUBG. I remember that being a huge controversy of. Yeah. I want max frames per second on first person shooter. Yeah. Well, it depends on the first person shooter. Doom Eternal, I'm happy to get 200 frames per second because it can still run at ultra settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the Pirate says, for single-player games, I'm happy with 60 FPS on ultra settings. For city builder games, anything over 20 is good, right?
Yeah, I know. I was playing. Oh, what was I playing? I was playing City Skylines, and like as soon as my city started building up, I'm like, oh, this is a great-looking city. And you start going down to like street level, and man, your frames per second just tank.
Yeah. I love how Zelda has 3 different Game of the Year awards with Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, and those games ran at Ocarina of Time ran between 17 and 22 frames per second.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild averaged about 22 frames per second on Switch hardware, and Tears of the Kingdom did maybe 24 on Switch hardware. Game of the Year, and guess what?
Yeah.
That's the platform they played on. Oh, and 720p resolution too.
Yeah.
So tell me how you can't play anything less than 60 FPS or 90 FPS, or how you're this hardcore gamer bro. But we gave 3 versions of Zelda at sub 25 FPS Game of the Year. So which is it?
I think a lot of those people who say that are the people who built like these $5,000 gaming rigs and always expect the best out of everything, no matter what.
Yeah.
Just because they threw more money than sense at their rig.
Yep.
But people who actually research it and know the limitations of it and know what use cases are, they don't tend to say stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I am being a bit hyperbolic of the average commenter on YouTube videos. Obviously not everyone agrees, and everyone plays different games, and everyone plays different ways, and everyone has different hardware. But it's really funny when the consensus is, no, bro, everything should run at 90 FPS with no exceptions.
Yeah.
And then we give Game of the Year to Baldur's Gate 3. Which doesn't need any more than 30.
Doesn't
need any more than 24. It's turn-based, bro.
Yeah, it's turn-based. I mean, it's a pretty game, to be honest. Baldur's Gate 3 is still a pretty game. Yeah. But so which is it? Yeah.
It's almost as if gaming is kind of subjective.
Oh yeah. I think that's what, attracts me to PC gaming more, is because I can adjust those settings to how I want it, and I can change my use case of how I want to play a game when I want it for what I want.
Yeah. Sub 60 FPS felt different on CRTs. That's because sub 60, we used to only measure average frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
Until we got wise and started measuring frame times and low frame rates. And it's not that 60 FPS feels weird. It's that inconsistent frame rates feel weird.
Yeah. The choppiness of it. Yeah.
45 FPS with a 0.1% low of 34 feels 100 times more smoother than 60 FPS on average with a 0.1% low of 20. Because your eye wants consistency. If you have consistency in your frame rate or your frame time or your frame delivery, you get a more consistent and smooth experience. we're fine watching movies at 24 FPS because it is a smooth and consistent every 23.97 seconds or 0.2397 or 23.97 milliseconds. God damn it. Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
23.97 times per second, we're getting a new frame on the screen at the same interval every single time.
Yeah, it's consistent.
It's consistent. Your eye sees it as smooth. No one complains about that cinematic effect when they're going to the theater. But every movie except for The Hobbit is filmed in 24 FPS.
Yeah, I even remember when The Hobbit came out, people were complaining at the higher frame rate because they weren't used to it.
Right.
They're like, what is this horseshit?
It reaches uncanny valley territory.
Yeah.
And it makes the CGI way worse.
It does. It makes it... Well, that's what... Because I remember my wife, when we went and saw it, we were watching at the higher frame rate. She's like, this reminds me of playing a video game.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because it's a higher frame rate. That totally makes sense.
Sorry, every 41.718 milliseconds.
Yeah.
That's the pace of 23.97 FPS. So yeah, it's not the average FPS. That matters absolutely nothing to your smoothness. Average FPS does impact your reaction time. The time in which you can see an enemy and acquire target and then pull trigger. Like, that is absolutely a metric that is important. 100 frames delivered versus 20 frames delivered in a span of time means that you're more able to see an enemy appear on screen. Mm-hmm. But your choppiness is all attributed to frame time and frame delivery and how smooth that overall experience is. 80 smooth FPS, like average of 85 and a 0.1% low of 68. That feels amazing. And that's what games like Red Dead Redemption play at with the right hardware today on ultra settings. I made this comparison a number of times. Anyone who's ever watched me benchmark Borderlands games, the Borderland engine is inherently choppy when you're going hip fire to scope fire repeatedly.
That's where the choppiness comes in.
Because it is narrowing in your field of view for the zoom window and then panning it back out and then chopping back in. And it's having to adjust what is rendered on screen multiple times. And it actually is not stressing your GPU, it's stressing your CPU. So during those instances, up until the last couple of generations of cores, think Zen 3, Zen 4, and Raptor Lake, those transitional frames have been choppy as all hell on Borderlands games. Think like average of 100 and some odd FPS, 110 FPS in Borderlands 3, and a 0.1% low of 8. Mm-hmm. And tell me that's not choppy.
Yeah.
Now, it was choppy in a given sequence, but it's still choppy.
It's choppy enough for people to not want to use sniper rifles at that point.
Right. And Novella says, order made at Viking Liquor. So he's got some cave-aged, barrel-aged on the way.
Oh, nice.
Sweet. Jonathan says, Jeff, are you going to try that Battlemage GPU? I would love to. Intel did not reach out to me for sampling this time. In fact, their graphics department has not ever reached out to me. I've had to acquire all of my Intel samples for graphics personally over the last couple of years. There's been a lot of turnover and transition in their graphics department, so I'm not overly surprised. Mm-hmm. I am going to try to get a hold of the B580 though, because I have a number of tests that I want to run on that. I think that is a very interesting GPU at $250.
Yeah. Seems like a great budget card.
And I can't wait for Inno3D or Sparkle or someone like that to make a single slot version of a B580.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's possible.
I know. You got some ideas with that, I'm sure.
I have little gremlins in my brain that are always, well, what if they did this? Yeah.
Yeah.
X Gamers 1 GPU. Technically, it would be possible in a Hyper-V scenario. You could run Hyper-V and GPU pair virtualization. I have some questions for Intel that I'm going to ask specific reps at CES around X Gamers 1 GPU. I have some questions I want answered. So, stay tuned. I doubt I'll be able to give those answers on camera, but I have some questions I would like to speak to higher ups at Intel directly about. So I just polished off my first beer. How's your first beer doing?
I have right there.
All right. Well, I think it's time for some Dragon's Milk.
Absolutely. I'm ready. My body is ready. All right, here we go. Oh, God, it smells wonderful.
I'm not even going to introduce my next beer. I just want to watch you for a minute.
All right. Smells like butterscotch almost. All right. Yeah, it does. It almost has like a butterscotchy caramel flavor smell to it.
Yep.
Let me taste this now. Oh man. Oh man, that is good. That's caramel malt candy. That is so good. Dang, that is good.
Yeah.
It you know what? It pisses me off more that they do not distribute it over here.
Right?
I would go out and get a 6-pack of this right now if they sold it around here.
I had the same reaction when I first tried it.
That is good.
It's so good. I'm angry.
Yeah, I know. Why do they not have this here?
Yeah,
because like they sell Dragon's Milk all over the place here, but not this Dragon's Milk.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. No, it is so good. It is so dangerous because it's still 11%.
Yeah.
But it's that bourbon barrel aged combo with a red ale that you get a lot of that green apple caramel.
Yeah.
Kind of coming to the forefront.
Oh, it's so good.
The malt is super rich. And it's a true to Dragon's Milk. It's like a creamy mouthfeel on top of that.
Creamy mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Sweet, rich. God dang. That's so good.
Right?
Oh, man. Yeah, like I said, this just gonna piss me off that I can't get more of this now.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So beer number 2, we're going with a West Coast classic. This is the Stone Arrogant Bastard.
Arrogant Bastard's a good standard if you like kick you in the teeth stouts.
Right.
That like really roasty, really rich.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite a stout. It's technically an ale, but it does fall in line with
roast. It's got those roasty, stouty notes to it. Yeah. But it does punch you in the teeth for being like an ale.
Yes, it does. All right. We also have some Intel leaks to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, no specs yet, but I don't think that's all that unexpected. Intel's entire Core 200 lineup of Arrow Lake mobile CPUs that is supposedly launching at CES 2025 has been leaked, including all 22 variants.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we always knew Intel was a little SKU happy. So this is according to Tom's Hardware. And data comes from aggregator Momomo US. So we can go straight to their Twitter account here. We've got all of these different cores that are leaking. That's his most recent post. Or no, that's his pinned post. Where's the dang it? I saw his leak earlier. Anyway, Tom's Hardware has the aggregate here. Core 200U which is going to be Raptor Lake based. We've also got Core 200H, which is Arrow Lake based. That's the new thing to get. We have Core Ultra 200U, which is a Meteor Lake refresh, not freaking confusing at all. And then we have Core Ultra 200HX, which is Arrow Lake. Also,
not confusing.
Not confusing at all. So if you buy a 200U or a 200H, you could get either a Raptor Lake or a Meteor Lake refresh. So either a 13, 14, or 15th gen refresh core. If you buy a 200H or an HX, you're getting the new Arrow Lake architecture. So we've got like literally 4 generations of products that are going to be under the same flag. And that's stupid as all hell.
Yeah, I know. It's like no one... Yeah. The common person is not going to know what the hell that means. No. And even the people who are expert are going to be like, yeah, it's confusing as hell. It's going to take a while to digest.
Yeah. So the core followed by number. So Core 9, Core 7, Core 7, Core 5. That's going to be your Raptor Lake SKU. Your Core Ultra SKU is going to be the Core Ultra 9 and then an H denominator after the number. So 285, 265, 255. Those are Arrow Lake, and also the HX SKUs. Typically, the HX is the overclockable variant, or the high performance, higher frequency variant. So the 285 HX, 275 HX. There's also the U variant, which is sitting in here, which is also taken up by the Raptor Lake Core 7 250U and Core 5 220U. We've got the Core Ultra, god damn it, 225U, and the Core Ultra 5 235U. This can't even be deciphered with an AMD decoder wheel, which is how you know it's beyond screwed.
Yeah.
This is so blatant, anti-consumer, intentionally confusing.
Yeah, they're muddying the waters, so people really don't know what they're getting.
Right.
Same thing that we were talking about with the Nvidia card, where they have the two 5040s.
Yeah.
One with the TI, one without, but one is arguably much better than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, one has 40% more CUDA cores and 50% more memory. Like, yeah, that's a better card. But is the average consumer going to know that? Is the average consumer going to be able to decipher what is, in this case, 13th gen versus, or 13/14th gen versus 15th gen versus true 16th gen? Yeah. Which is it? Well, they all say Core 200, Core 200 series. Yeah. This is bad. This is bad marketing. This is bad product naming. It's anti-consumer. It's intentionally confusing. And this is just straight up horse crap.
I wonder if they just turned over their naming conventions of all of their new processors to AI. And they're just like, whatever, dude. We'll just spit out whatever.
At least they would have an excuse then, right?
Yeah.
The problem is they've done crap like this before, specifically with their mobile parts. They've done crap like this before. And make no mistake, I don't think rebranding a product and selling it as something new is inherently a bad thing. We saw this all the time from AMD when it comes, and Nvidia, in fact, when it comes to graphics cards, where they would sell the last generation graphics card as a current generation graphics card, but with a lower SKU number than it had before. The problem with this is we have a 270 versus a 265 versus a 275. Those are 3 different product types, differentiated only by the middle digit. That's all it's differentiated by.
Yep, that's all it is.
270, 285, 265, 275. Well, is a 235H better than a 220H? Yes, actually it is. But also, is a 235H better than a 250H? Yes, it probably is. This is the better SKU than this. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more efficient. It's going to have lower core clocks, but higher frequencies and higher performance. I would bet the 235H is a higher end SKU than the 250H. I bet it's maybe the better SKU than the 270H.
You don't know. It's just from looking at the name, you're not going to know.
We'll need to wait till benchmarks, but
yeah,
the average consumer wants the newest thing and to buy a tier in the newest thing. The problem is this tier list is all over the fucking map.
Yeah.
There's no differentiating one from another.
This is gonna like be a boon for like people like you. Oh, hold on. I'll have a sneeze coming. Okay. People who actually review things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then of course you have, like we talked about before, people who just going to say we want to get the most out of the most frame rates, the most this, most that. I think where you look for the most use cases for a particular CPU, this would be something that would help people a lot, because they're not going to be, I don't know what this processor does. I don't know. Just Google search Core Ultra 7 review.
Right.
Hopefully it comes up and you give them an explanation of what it's good at, what it's bad at.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll at least be informed. So it could give you a lot more clicks.
If only I reviewed more mobile crap. Oh, wait, I do a lot of mini PCs.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I don't want to do mini PCs, though. I do them because they're interesting. I do them because I want to know what their performance is. Like, I've always been interested in low power, low form factor equipment. Mini PCs are a great way to get into home lab if you don't have a lot of storage requirements. So say you want to
have a lot of space either.
Right. You want to create a small cluster of 3 machines that had, you start testing some high availability stuff, and God willing, they have 2 M.2 slots. You can RAID 1 and maybe create like a little 3-node Ceph cluster or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hell of a lot of fun. And that is certainly like one of the reasons I got into home labbing, is just to experiment with different configurations. The problem is, from a consumer standpoint, what you buy now, as far as your SKU and your performance level, is going to determine how acceptable that performance is into the future as requirements for software gets higher. So you might say, well, it was only $50 less and I paid less for this lower end SKU. But if the lower end SKU performs 2/3 as well as the one that's $50 more, see the 4070 versus 4070 Super, see the 235H versus a 250H. If it's 2/3 the performance and $50 cheaper on a $1,000 purchase, you just got screwed out of 2/3 of your life cycle.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be enough to handle your day-to-day use earlier than the higher end SKU would be. And it's not just performance per dollar, it's performance per lifespan and dollar per lifespan. If I spend $600 today, and then in 2 years I need to spend another $600 because my current PC is not performing as well as it should be. However, if I'd spent $800 and I can use that PC for 6 years.
6 years, yeah. That's
extrapolate that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think the long and short of this is, Intel, stop with this crap. The problem is it's effective. The problem is they can sell older SKUs with current badging for the same money as their newer, more demanding manufacturing process SKUs. They can make more money on them. They have a higher profit margin on them. And there's really there's nothing saying they can't brand their CPUs that way. Yeah. There's nothing saying you can't name your product whatever you want to name it. OpenAI is not open source.
Yeah, even though it's called OpenAI.
Case in point. But there's no rule specifying how you have to name a product.
Yeah.
It's up to us as reviewers and you guys as consumers to hold a company to the fire. Let them know it's not acceptable. And part of you has to vote with your dollar. Don't buy that crap. Don't accept that crap. But number two, let them know it's not acceptable. Blast them on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or more preferably Blue Sky, because screw Twitter. Or what is your social media handle tonight? I know I looked one up for you tonight.
Oh. The only reliable one is my Steam account.
It's iTunes Ping tonight.
iTunes Ping.
Occasionally, when you're on, I will search dead social media platforms.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just plug one in.
But go plug in my GeoCities website.
Your Friendster account.
My Friendster, my ICQ number.
Yep. I've done the ICQ number. In fact, I did the ICQ number the month before ICQ went offline, and I didn't even know that was going to happen.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, that's amazing. Yeah. Alice says, I found that grape nuts are neither grape nor nuts, but are apparently made from quarry leavings.
Oh, God.
Yeah, who'd know you could sell compactable gravel as a breakfast cereal?
I know. Apparently people love scraping the roofs of their mouths with no sugar. I mean, I get Captain Crunch. It tears up your mouth, but at least it's sweet and delicious.
Right.
Grape nuts tears up the roof of your mouth and taste terrible.
Right. Ooh, here you go. Favorite breakfast cereal. What kind of guy are you?
Well, okay, it depends. I don't eat breakfast cereals much anymore. So you'll have to kind of get me at a certain era. I guess the last one, I don't know if they still make it. The Cracklin' Oat brands. I used to love that.
Oh, that's a good choice.
I used to love Cracklin' Oat brand.
Yeah. I did a lot of Honey Bunches of Oats, but the almond one, so the almond slivers.
Yeah,
I was a real big fan of that. My all-time favorite breakfast cereal, though, Banana Nut Crunch.
Banana Nut Crunch is good. I like Banana Nut Crunch, yeah.
That is my god tier breakfast cereal.
If you were to go for my guilty sugary pleasure cereal, I would do the Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs.
That's a good one.
That, I mean, for if I was to go back to my kid core type of a thing, that would
Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs.
Yes.
Kid core. That's on the list. That's on the list. I don't know if it's my number one, but it's definitely on my list.
Yeah.
Honeycomb.
Honeycomb is good, but that's not for my kid core. It's not associated with candy enough.
Right.
I need something that's almost candy-like.
Ooh. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a good one.
There you go.
Yeah. That's probably right there with it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs are right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is possibly my kid core vibe.
Yeah.
But even when I was a kid, frickin' Banana Nut Crunch.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, see, my mom always got us Honey Nut Cheerios. So I got sick of Honey Nut Cheerios. I can't stand Honey Nut Cheerios anymore. I mean, if I went back and tried it now, I might like it.
I still enjoy Honey Nut Cheerios. I am more of a fan of the Apple Honey Nut Cheerios.
I don't think I've had that one. I don't think I've had that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Or just plain Cheerios with enough sugar to create a syrup at the bottom of your bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I know they don't make it. I remember as a kid just loving a lot of the one-off crazy cereals that they used to do, the Batman cereals and the ones that would only last for like maybe a year or two. The Smurf cereal, the Nerds cereal. I actually like the Nerds cereal.
The Nerds cereal?
Do you remember Nerd cereal? Because okay, so you remember
how am I just now learning about this?
They had a Nerd cereal. Yeah, in fact, they even because like Nerds when they first came out, they had the box with the 2 flavors, right? The original candy,
right.
You'd go on one side, it was like cherry,
you get strawberry, and you get grape, right?
Yeah. So their cereal was like that too.
What?
They had 2 mini bags inside of it. One was one flavor and one was the other, and you could mix them, or you can do just one and everything like that. They were great. Nerd cereal was awesome.
I feel like I've missed out on my childhood.
And this wasn't when I was a kid. This was like maybe when I was like a teen or something like that. It came out. This was like in the 90s. I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, Nerd cereal. When did that come out?
Shabziger says, Nerd cereal, do what now? Right, like I'm not the only one who's never heard of this. Thank you.
Dude, no, it was great. It doesn't say when it came out. Yeah, like the candy, Nerds cereal featured 2 separate flavors in a box. Flavors came in orange, cherry, and strawberry grape. Oh, wait, no, 1986. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the 90s. It just came out in 1986. It was only out for a year.
Okay.
Holy crap, I might be dating myself really bad.
That explains why I've never seen it in the wild before.
It came out in 1985 and 1986. It was only out for a year, and I remember it. Man, that's a pretty good memory, actually.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could come up with some weird cereal. I mean, the one I always remember seeing was Cookie Crisp.
Oh yes, Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gosh, what other obscure '90s cereals?
Well, there's the famous. This wasn't because it was made famous by the Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the Mr. T cereal.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, pity the fool, I don't eat my breakfast.
That's right.
There was what was it? The Star Wars, the C3POs.
I've heard of that one.
That one was a good one. What else was there?
C3PO cereal from Kellogg's, 1984.
Yeah. Was it really?
Yep.
1984. Oh, God. I'm really dating myself tonight. God.
Here we go. Yeah. Same website, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I remember the Luke Skywalker mask. You could cut that out and then make your own Luke Skywalker mask.
God, the 80s were a different time, weren't they?
Oh, God. Yeah, they were great, man.
Kellogg's introduced C-3POs 1 year after the 3rd film in the original Star Wars trilogy appeared in theaters. Some boxes came with a plastic Rebel rocket, Star Wars stickers and trading cards, or a cutout Star Wars mask.
Dude, this is the golden era of cereals.
And there was a send-away offer for Kenner Star Wars action figures.
Yeah, dude. It rocked.
Wow.
I'm going to even date myself more because I've already stepped in it. But I also remember the Pac-Man cereal, and I remember the Donkey Kong cereal.
Let's see. Hold on. I got one for you.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, Urkel-Hose. Yes, that is a good one.
Help Urkel find Laura. Free game on this package.
Oh my gosh. That is great. Did you just search for like the most obscure cereals?
There's also Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters cereal.
Ghostbusters. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, what in the fresh hell?
Pop-Tarts Crunch. No, I don't remember those.
They are literally filled Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I would eat that though. That sounds kind of good.
Right?
I would still eat. I don't remember them, but I would eat them.
Frosted
Maybe it was like
strawberry.
Time. Yeah, that sounds good.
Alice says, C-3PO's commercials always had the vibe of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Now in cereal form.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you can say that confidently without 3 minutes of uninterrupted Wookiee dialogue.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Here's just a quick offshoot. I don't know if you've watched Skeleton Crew, the new Star Wars
I
one.
haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list.
It's actually pretty good. Watch it with your kids.
Yeah.
It's more kid central, but it canonizes the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh God.
There is a scene in there that cracked me up. It's just brief. It doesn't really throw back to it, but there's just one small scene. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it has a quick reference to the Star Wars Christmas special. Robots and titanium.
The special introductions of 3 members of Chewbacca's family. His father, yes. Itchy, his wife, Mala, and his son, Lumpy.
Lumpy, yes. His wife, Mala. She's from Walla Walla.
Oh, God.
Yeah, if you can't stomach the Star Wars Christmas special, I recommend getting the Riff Tracks version of it. Mm-hmm. Try to find the Riff Tracks version of it and watch it that way. It's a lot more tolerable.
Yeah,
but it's actually funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I can stomach the holiday special anymore.
Not straight. You can't take it straight.
No,
you have to do it with a veneer of like riff tracks or commentary track.
Even in small doses, it's a bit much.
Oh yeah, no, it's you watch the riff. It's good. It makes it funny.
All right. Well, that's really all we had for news.
For news, yeah. It's the end of the year, slow news week for every sector of the world. People are just like, I don't really want to do anything anymore.
Skull says canonizes the holiday special in the best and worst ways.
Yes, I would agree.
And Vince from Circuit Rewind says, okay, but like Star Wars Lego Xmas special was awesome. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was funny.
What about the Murder Hornet news? Oh, right.
Oh.
There's Murder Hornet news.
That's right. There was. That's not really tech news, but yeah, it's still good.
We'll talk about it. It's local to us, so what the hell?
Sure.
The Northern Giant Hornet, otherwise known as the Asian Giant Hornet, or simply colloquially as the Murder Hornet.
Murder Hornet, yeah.
Has been eradicated from the United States.
Good. I don't want that stuff in my backyard at all.
I swear I saw one of these in around Lincoln City in 2019. I swear.
Really? In Lincoln City?
Yeah.
Oh.
I swear to you I saw one. And tried to kill it and was unsuccessful.
Yeah. I would expect you need like a gun to kill those. You're not going to need to kill it with a fly swatter.
Yeah.
It's going to like just laugh at you.
Yeah. Well, I had like the end of a shovel and I just took a stab at it real quick. It was like it was big. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But it didn't recognize me. So it didn't hunt me to extinction. Yeah, so the Northern Giant Hornet or the Murder Hornet, it was big news for a while because it came over from
Japan,
Asia, from Japan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they have no native predators because they're big honking murder hornets.
Yeah.
And they can decimate an entire, like, a couple dozen of these can decimate a colony of honeybees in the matter of 2 hours.
Yeah, they can just totally destroy them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I remember watching a documentary about it. The only defense bees have against them is literally dogpiling them and cooking their insides. They would sit there and they'd surround them and vibrate themselves to generate heat, where the bees can tolerate the heat, but the hornets could not, and they just get cooked and they die.
Right.
That's their only defense.
Right.
That's not a very good defense.
Right.
If somebody broke into my house and I had to rub up against him to stop him, I don't think I could do it.
If I had to snuggle up against you and go zzz
until you died, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. But after 8 years of working with many government agencies and institutions, plus private citizens, Washington State Department of Agriculture and the United States Department of Agriculture announced the eradication on December 18th, 2024. The declaration comes after 3 years of no confirmed sightings. Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
But they're going to become like Sasquatch now in the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
There's going to be somebody's like, I saw a really hairy giant wasp. I swear I saw it.
Yep.
Bigfoot and the murder hornets mated. And now we're going to have giant flying murder Sasquatch hornets.
Right. Yeah, 4 centimeters of angry stabby.
Exactly.
4 centimeters of venomous photographic memory angry stabby.
Yeah, they never forget.
Yeah.
They're worse than elephants.
Yeah.
God, I'm still enjoying this beer. In fact, I think I might have to slow down because I want to enjoy it longer.
It's one of those beers that even though it's 11%, it is so easy to gulp.
Oh, extremely. It's so flavorful, so tasty.
It's so smooth. It's flavorful. Yeah. Oh, let's see. What else do we have to talk about today? Chat, what do you want to talk about? I think we'll leave it open for Q&A for the next little while, unless you guys get sidetracked on something.
Yeah, we could.
Chad says another successful patch night completed. Excellent. Novella Hub says, any beer news? Not that I saw. I didn't see anything noteworthy.
Yeah, beer news is kind of sporadic because, I mean, there are like, oh, so-and-so brewery releases new beer. That's not very interesting, though, half the time.
Yeah. So
it's not, something that outside of just announcing it, that there's really something to talk about.
Yeah. Skull says, what's the show schedule like for the rest of the year? We will be having a show on the 26th, likely at 6 p.m. In fact, I'd almost guarantee at 6 p.m. Right now I'm trying to get it scheduled to happen at Santiam Brewing in Salem, Oregon. We're trying to reserve the governor's room there. And if we do get the room, you all are welcome to show up. Follow me on Blue Sky or on Discord. Get access to the Discord via joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. Shameless self-plug.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep forgetting to email them. I've been so busy with other things. We're going to try to get the governor's room at Santiam on the 26th at 6 p.m. We'll do our live show. We'll be opening some beers and having a good time.
Yeah, I love that spot. It's a great, cozy little area. The beer's great. The food's great. Although I don't think we're going to be eating on air unless we want to do like a live stream / mukbang stream.
If we do a show at a tap house, I don't mind eating.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to nibble on some fries. It's another thing entirely to have like a French dip or something like that.
We'll just have Rhett in the corner doing a mukbang and just occasionally cut to him. It's like, how you doing, Rhett?
Right. Noms and crab legs or something.
Yeah.
BSKY says, just ordered my whiskey stones and glass from Craft Computing, so now waiting on the NFC ring. Excellent. Yeah, actually, Thursdays is my day to go cut merch. So typically, if you order something, it will be shipped out either Thursday or Friday every week. And yeah, tomorrow morning I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm shipping out. Do I have a PO box to send beer? It is in the video description. Do you need an Excel not to send a duplicate? Or I need an Excel not to send a duplicate. Send me some of your local stuff. I love seeing beer from various parts of the country. I mean, if you live somewhere, there's a brewery near you that I have not heard of. So send that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Recommendations for shipping beer. This is not an official guideline. If you ship me beer, I have no knowledge of it.
Yeah. We don't know if it happened. It just showed up one day.
If I open a package with beer in it, I will scold you profusely. But then enjoy the beer.
I will say shame onto you. Shame.
Yes.
Shame.
Whale pods are an absolutely wonderful thing.
Yep.
Get a whale pod box. They come flat pack and they expand into boxes that are designed to hold various sizes of beers, be they 12-ounce bottles, pint cans, bombers, whatever you want to send over. Barring that, box within a box is always my recommendation, with a decent amount of packing material. So individually box the cans or bottles or whatever it may be, and put those boxes into a larger box with some packing material. Because while it is very easy to damage the external box, it is much harder to penetrate and damage internal boxes. That's how PC cases are shipped, is box within a box.
Yeah.
You put enough barrier between you and the thing causing damage, and you won't receive any damage.
Or ship it with gravel. I don't care.
Yeah. If you ship bottles, plastic wrap each. Get some gallon bags and wrap each bottle in a bag. That way, if it bursts, it doesn't leak over everything.
Yeah, it's contained. It's contained within the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, wrap your bottles in a gallon Ziploc bag first, and then package them in a whale pod or a box within a box. And that's the way to do it. Oh, and then weigh it yourself, put a label on it yourself, and then walk to the post office and go, here you go. Yeah. That way you don't have to answer any questions. From what I hear.
You just call it yeast samples and they won't touch it.
Yeah. Yeast samples in suspension is my favorite.
Yeah, in suspension. Yeah. There you go.
In solution. Yeah. Or in suspension. Pirate Ship is a great resource as well. Yes. Good call, Skull. Yes. I would never break any laws and post beers from the UK, but it may be beer-flavored PC cleaning products.
I always like my PC to smell like a beer.
It's an isopropyl solution.
Yeah, the things start warming up. Your whole office starts smelling like beer. It's great.
Right. Did all the Secret Santas open? I believe all of them opened, save for a couple of them. I know one Australian Secret Santa just received their shipment. It was held up in customs for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I know we had one or two other stragglers that were still waiting on some things. So yeah, I do have a P.O. box. Any thoughts on the proposed Nissan-Honda merger? I know you've been a Nissan fan for a long time. I am kind of a Nissan fan. Not necessarily a fan of the company. I am a fan of some of the engineering that they do. I'm a fan of how they build cars. Obviously, I'm a Z-Car fan. I freaking love the Z-Car platforms. I've owned a 350Z. I've owned a Maxima. I've owned a Frontier. They've all been phenomenal vehicles for me. The only thing I ever had to do with any of those vehicles is give it oil and tires. And I've put 400,000 miles on Nissan vehicles. It's probably my number one vehicle as far as mileage goes, as far as the length of time that I've owned them. But I've owned all kinds of vehicles. We own a Toyota right now. It's my third Toyota that I've owned. I own a Dodge Ram right now. It's my second Dodge truck that I've owned. I've had a Mazda I have a Mazda CX-9. That has been a little maintenance heavy, but I love that vehicle as well. I've never owned a Honda.
I've owned both Hondas and Nissans. I would say I preferred. I don't know. Both were good. I'm not going to say that they were both bad. I think I had more fun driving the Nissan than I did the Honda, though.
Yeah.
They were both very reliable cars, but I have to say I enjoyed driving the Nissan more.
And you have a Mitsu right now, which Nissan has a pretty high stake in Mitsubishi. So
yes.
Yeah. They share a lot of platforms and designs.
Yeah, they're much funner cars to drive, I would say.
Yeah, I like Nissans. I like... They put a little extra power in a lot of their vehicles. When a lot of car companies were going like 1.8 liter 4-cylinders, they're like, screw it, 2.5. That's what we're going to go with. And like the mid-size sedans, the Altimas and the Maximas. Their budget cars are still very budget cars, but what budget car isn't a budget car? Look at you, Chevy Spark.
Exactly.
Yeah. But Nissan Honda merger. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I don't want to see Nissan die. I think Nissan has a number of good vehicles. The Frontier is a phenomenal vehicle.
Yeah, I love the Frontier.
The Titan's had some issues over the years. Their latest one with their relationship with Cummins, as far as the 5-liter diesel that went out into the Nissan Titans, apparently that is just grenading itself. The turbo is grenading itself because of modern diesel fuel requirements. But like I said, I've owned a Z car, a 350Z. Freaking loved that car. Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see Nissan continue in some form. I'm a big fan of the 400Z. I think it's true to the origin of the Z car. It's a rear-wheel drive, V6 or twin-turbo V6. You can get 450 horsepower in a twin-turbo V6, all of the 300ZX and cars like that. Like, what's not to love there? They keep giving manuals love. Like, my Nissan Frontier was a 6-speed manual, and it was a 2014. Do I miss Datsun? Kinda. Not really. But yeah, no, I think a little stability with Honda might be a good thing. And Honda could probably learn some things from Nissan as well. Although what I fear it would be is Nissan would become a budget Honda brand.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. I don't like a lot of times with a lot of these takeovers or mergers, one brand ends up being the sublet brand of the bigger brand. And so Nissan would become the budget Honda. It would be, this is a Honda Civic, but with the Nissan Sentra 1.6 liter with a CVT. It's like, ugh. Like, it's the same driving platform, but they skimpy on the drivetrain kind of thing. And while the Sentra sucks, the Altima and the Maxima are pretty good cars, the people who drive them notwithstanding. The Nissan Rogue, love it or hate it, one of the best-selling cars in America for the last number of years because it's a mid-size crossover SUV. Does it have problem with direct port injection? Yes, it does. Do they sell it to people who don't understand what maintenance is? Yes, they do. Nissan is the subprime mortgage company of the car industry. And they'll sell you a car that needs major service every 60,000 miles. via direct port injection, because the gasoline is no longer cleaning the intake manifold with injection. It's directly injecting the gas, which means you get soot and crud on the valve seats. Your CVT needs maintained and needs fluids flushed every 60,000 miles if you want it to last more than 75,000 miles. However, they also give these 17% loans to people with a third the credit score and income that actually should be able to afford them. And what you end up with is okay. Hi, bud. So remember that pregnancy announcement we had like 3.5 years ago? Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
This is the result.
What happened?
Yep. He's just gonna sit here and chill for a minute. So yeah, that Nissan has some problems, mainly with their business model, and a lot of things to do with, and their business model extends into issues with their cars. They could definitely use a little bit of a revamp, and Honda might bring them some stability and things that make a little bit more sense for them. So I don't hate it, but I also don't want to see Nissan become the budget Honda brand, because that would suck. We're just playing games on our tablet tonight.
Always a good thing.
Yep. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, look up here. What's that? Oh, don't care.
He doesn't care. It's like the tablet's more interesting. I'm sorry.
Totally.
I get it, kid.
What beer does Mini Jeff like? Mini Jeff likes blue Gatorade, apple juice, white grape juice.
The classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing today. Oh, little reading eggs. Got some reading eggs going on.
Tiny craft.
So yeah, no, that's what I think about the Nissan thing. Oh, what else we got? I'd get him to look at the camera, but I don't think he's going to do that. There we go. There, now you can at least see him.
Well, he doesn't care about us. He's
right.
Just, he's going to pay attention to...
I'm even trying to lift his tablet up so his eyes will come up and he goes, no!
No, down here. I'm going to do it down here.
Mini Jeff, a.k.a. Craft Compiling.
Craft Compiling, yes.
Barrel-aged juice box. Yeah, we could probably go for that.
We can do that.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Little vanilla and oak inside of the apple juice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of games, you guys seen the Retroid Pocket 5? I got mine and can't believe it's only $200. The 1080p AMOLED consumer handheld electronics have reached their apotheosis. Yeah, no, the mini handheld market, specifically the Android-driven ones, they have reached a point where they are very attractive, very impressive specs.
Oh yeah.
I haven't looked directly at the Retroid Pocket 5. I do have a Retroid Pocket 2, a 2 Plus. And he's a big guy for 3. Yes, he is. Yeah, you'd never guess his dad was 6'4". But all right.
It's time for bed.
All right. Good night, buddy. Off he goes.
Do you tell Daddy bye-bye?
Bye. Bye.
Sorry.
Even coming back like 18 months or so with the Odin handhelds. I have an Odin Pro and an Odin Lite. And I've actually used those for remote gaming. I bought them because I was doing a lot of stuff with remote gaming, and I wanted to test Parsec and Moonlight and things like that, and give myself kind of a basis for what does cloud gaming on a handheld look like. And those were fantastic consoles for that. Yeah, it's it's kind of, it's a very competitive market. My problem with that market is the same problem I have with a lot of the Chinese region PC handheld market. The 1X Player and the Ion Neos, is its marketing by shotgun approach. I'm going to come out with 13 handhelds this year in every different form factor, all with very different specs. Which, if all you're doing is changing the screen and the ergonomics, God bless you. Like there's a handheld for everyone, and there's a form factor for everyone. There's certain things that I want to see that other people may not want to see. But when you come out with like 9 different CPUs and 12 different screens and resolutions and form factors and all kinds of different button layouts and abilities and operating systems and everything else, makes it really hard to make a good one.
Yeah.
Powkitty, Ambernick, companies like that. I wish they would start settling in on some form factors and start improving those, rather than just like throwing things at the wall and going, yeah, that kind of works. So, but no, I'm excited about the handheld gaming community and hardware and all that kind of stuff. I keep up with a lot of that. Oh.
Do we want to talk about the Steam Replay?
Sure. Yeah. Steam Replay. This is their 3rd annual time that they're doing this.
Yes.
They conglomerate your Steam account information into a year in review. And so how much time did you spend playing games? What games did you play? What games did you play per month? What was your favorite game? What was your least favorite? What styles of games do you like? Mm-hmm. And it's actually pretty interesting. Zach says, embrace it and release 71 versions of Axe Effect. Well, we're going to start with 1. And we're going to see where that goes. Right. I'm already working on my first variant of the Wi-Fi one, though. So we're probably going to release 2 different Wi-Fi versions, but for very good reason. But I don't talk about future products. Vince says we need an N64 controller with an LCD screen on top. I need some handheld company somewhere to give me 6 buttons on the side.
Just 6 buttons on the side?
Stop with the ABXY. I want AB and then C, up, down, left, right.
Oh, on your thumb. Okay.
Yeah. I want 6 buttons on one side, so I can actually play Nintendo 64 games without having to pretend the joystick is a C button.
Oh, is this? Yes, I got you. I see what you're saying.
N64 emulation is the thing. Make a controller. Make a handheld that emulates the N64 controller.
Yeah, it's such a unique use case, right?
Yeah.
Because the N64 controller was so different.
Yeah. To that, I actually do own a pair of Brawler 64 controllers. They're USB controllers that are Xbox style controllers, but they have AB plus the C buttons plus the Z trigger. So you can play Nintendo 64 games with them. So, anyway, the Steam year in review.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I can share mine on here. I think that's fine. Hold on. Let's see here. Steam replay. There we go. Because I'm actually logged in on Chrome. So let me switch the... We're going to look at this real quick. It's still the Murder Hornet. Stand by. We're going to switch this to the Chrome tab. There we go.
What the Murder Hornet played on Steam in 2024.
So here's mine. Now, I will tell you mine is drastically skewed by some activity in February. When Pal World launched.
Yes.
So Pal World accounts for 59% of my gameplay. However, if we scroll down to see what that looks like, Pal World was played almost exclusively in February. With a little
when it first came out.
With a little smattering in November, right?
Yeah.
So both me and my oldest daughter played Pal World like crazy in February. And as such, that is the majority of my time spent in game is in Pal World. 235 individual sessions, 59% of my total gameplay. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, because we rallied that back in March.
Yeah, when at PDX Land, we completed the whole game.
We did a whole campaign, right?
Yeah, we did a whole campaign right there.
12% of my yearly gameplay.
Yep.
And then, amazingly, coming in final, 2%. What the Car?
Yeah, that was the game you just got.
I just got it.
Just got it. Yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah. But how many achievements did you unlock? How many individual games did you play? I played 51 games. I'm in the top. The Steam median is 4, which feels low.
Yeah, I know. I looked at the medians. I'm like, well, okay, because that, you know what, that makes me kind of sad, because there's probably like a ton of bot accounts out there that are
just a ton of inactive accounts.
Yeah, that's true too.
And your zeros make up for the whales.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I've not been the most active gamer, and I've not been the most active on Steam. I've been actually playing a lot of retro games, especially in the later half of this year. I've got a Diablo 2 character that I'm midway through my second playthrough now, midway through my second campaign with it. And I'm going for I did a normal playthrough, and then the second playthrough I'm doing Nightmare, and then the third playthrough I'm going to go Hell. And I want to, because I've never done like that progression before. Because the difficulty ramps up considerably when you go to your second playthrough. Plus, I'm also jumping a difficulty level from normal to Nightmare.
You know what would be interesting is if the Steam replay, because like, you know how in Steam you can say add a non-Steam game to your library?
Right.
And you can literally go browse to like Excel and add Excel to your Steam library. I wonder if the Steam replay picks that up.
Mm.
And then like you always, whenever you used Excel, you like launched it from Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end, your Steam replay was like 90% Microsoft Excel.
Yeah. So I did like this little graph right here. What type of game did you spend playing?
Okay. Mine was super interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I like yours too. You got like looter and cyberpunk. Mine had a very interesting category because I got hero shooter, destruction, Souls-like. I also have Warhammer 40K was a category. I didn't know Warhammer 40K was a category unto itself.
Do they mean like RTS? Like
I don't remember playing that many Warhammer. I mean, I like Warhammer,
right?
But I don't remember playing that many Warhammer 40K games. There's a huge variety of them, and when they come out, I usually try them.
Yeah,
but I don't remember like having that much of an obsession with them to create its own category.
So here's Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Did 72 sessions. We did a 4-day streak. I think all of them were in April when we did the playthrough at PDX Land. But 73% of my total time on Tiny Tina's this year took place during that. I also took that character that I made during that campaign and played him through May and June. So he was quite the badass when I was all done.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to see what my stats. I think I posted my stats on the Discord channel.
Okay.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to see mine. But
and Vince says, it's almost like PDX LAN exists.
Yeah.
Posted his, and it's 85% April and November.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's like when we actually take a break and sit down and play games.
Yeah. Yeah, where's my just... Yeah, there you go. It's actually less time in November, a lot of time in January and February. Yeah, you can see my PDX LAN visits in April and November. Yeah, January and February was all Pal World, and I will say that wasn't just me. That was also my daughter, like every day after school, coming home and playing Pal World. Because we ran a family server, and so we had like 9 people on the server.
Wow.
And yeah, we all had different bases and things like that, and we had alliances, and we would trade between tribes, and yeah, it was a race between some of us to get to level 50 and get the best mounts and get the best breeds and whatnot. So, but once I caught all the different pals and I reached level 50 and I had all the best mounts and everything else, like, I've already seen the whole map. Like I've been to every place. I know there's a new island now, but it's like, I could craft more. I could breed more.
Yeah.
But because there's a level cap, I didn't feel all that incentivized to do more.
To go back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just didn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, more people are going onto the Discord channel and posting their replay.
Yeah.
See if they beat me. I don't know. Nope. They did not. You want to guess what do you think my my games played is set at?
Ooh. Number of games played.
Yeah.
$65.
Higher.
Sorry, that was low. Let me look at mine first.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me get a metric for mine.
I did post it, so you can't look.
I'm not looking at yours.
Yeah, don't look at the holiday channel because I did post it. I did post it earlier.
Oh, mine's at 51.
Oh yeah.
$135. Higher still.
Yeah.
All right, where are you at?
288.
All right.
I like to try a whole bunch of different games. What can I say?
Yeah.
I like a wide variety.
962 achievements.
Yes. 962 achievements. Well, here's the thing, and I kind of explained it on the Discord, because like a lot of the games, when you try them, they'll have like, oh, you started the game, there's an achievement.
You opened the first chest.
Yeah, there's an achievement. Like some of them are like
completed the tutorial.
Some are like, oh, they only have like 4 or 5 achievements and you really have to play the game to get them. Mm-hmm. And some will have like 125 achievements and most of them are just like, oh, you clicked the left mouse button, right? Super simple ones like that. It just depends. So
I like the achievements like in Gunpoint. Have you ever played Gunpoint?
Yes, I remember Gunpoint. Yeah.
Punch the guy 100 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, what was the God, what was the game? Stanley.
Stanley Parable.
The Stanley Parable.
Yes.
One of the achievements was to not play
the game for 10 years.
For 10 years or for 5 years or something like that. Yeah. Don't play it for 5 years.
Yep. There are people who cheated to get that achievement.
Yes,
who changed
they
their time.
shift the date. Yeah.
I guess they were receiving bans.
Oh, really? Good. Stupid cheaters. You have to physically not play Stanley Parable for 5 years. Oh, 14 games played. Well, get close.
Just a second.
Yeah, it doesn't account for all the other games that you play on different platforms, of course.
Yeah, the Super Go Outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years.
Yeah.
The earliest date that achievement can be achieved by normal means, not having gotten the game before release or not cheating, and this is for the Ultra Deluxe Edition, will be April 27th, 2032.
Yeah. Yeah, 15.7% players have the achievement.
Yeah, click on a door 430 times.
Yeah. This ridiculous ones like
8888888. Press 8 on the keypad on the boss's office. Or keep pressing 8 on the boss's office.
I love Stanley Parable. I thought that was a great game. I just love just hanging and messing around.
You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it.
Yeah. You have to sit there and spam the space bar.
Yeah. You get an achievement for unlocking your first achievement, too. I love that one. Just unlock any other achievement, and you get an achievement.
And then you get that one. I'll buy one, get one free.
Yeah, I remember there was a story a couple years ago about how this was the first time that you could legitimately achieve the don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years.
Yeah.
I need to go back and look at mine because I want to legitimately achieve that. So I have not gone back and played the Stanley Parable. I have played the
original. I think they did they do a remaster of it?
They did a remaster. Yeah, it's the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
And so it's a remaster of Stanley Parable. It looks identical. But there are expanded missions in it. Like you go further into the facility and you try different things. But I've been waiting to legitimately achieve the Stanley Parable achievement.
I last played 2015 was the last time I played. January 10th, 2015.
Let me see here.
Wait. Last played January 10th, 2015. So wait. Next year,
you could do it next month.
I could do it next month.
You could log in on the 16th.
I could get it next month. That's right.
That's incredible.
Oh my gosh, dude. I gotta put that in my calendar so I remember to do it.
That's incredible.
Gosh. That's awesome.
Hold on. Games. Mine was June 30th, 2017.
Oh no! Wait, is this go? Are you looking at the Go Outside, or is it the? Is there a different one?
It's like the Go Outside. It's the Go Outside.
It says 5 years, not 10 years. I can do it now.
Oh, is it only 5 years?
Yeah,
it is only 5 years.
Don't play the Stanley for 5 years. Yeah.
Well, what the hell am I waiting for?
Yeah, you can do it too.
Yeah, because mine was June 30th, 2017.
Yeah.
I played Ultra Deluxe over the weekend. I started a new game and started going through.
Oh, okay.
So no, apparently I need to open up Stanley Parable.
It's 5 year for the original. Maybe the new one is 10.
The new one may be 10.
The new one may be 10. That could be why. I wonder if it knowing the developers of that, it maybe have to be exactly 5 years.
Ultra Deluxe is 10 years.
Okay. All right. So I don't have the Ultra Deluxe. I have the original.
Yeah. Let me verify. There are 10 Steam achievements. Go Outside. Yeah, don't play Stanley Parable for 5 years. Okay.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm going to go install it right now, and then I'll launch it in the after party and see if I get the achievement.
Nice. What else are you doing in the after party? Making a hot toddy?
I am definitely going to do the hot toddy.
Nice.
Well, step one, I'm going to go pee because, after every stream, I have to go pee. But I'm going to go fill my tank back up with that hot toddy.
That's right.
Because that sounded amazing. I never thought about putting a butter in there.
I hear tale of a Fort George Matryoshka in the after party as well.
I have
not you, someone else.
Right. I mean, I have one.
Right.
I wasn't going to open it.
Right. So how much do you want a hot toddy, or would you rather have a matryoshka?
I think I want the hot toddy.
Hot toddy sounds good, right?
Okay. So I also thought, because you said just putting the butter in there, but I wonder because the little foamers that you get for your coffees and stuff. You have the little whisk.
Yeah.
But what if you did that with the hot toddy and foamed the butter a little bit in there? What do you think? Would that do something to it? Kind of air it out a little bit, make it a little more creamy, smooth.
I don't think so, because you kind of want a little bit more of that intense butter. Because what you do is you drop a real thin dollop of butter right on top, and it melts right on top, and it kind of oils the surface.
Okay.
And so you get this real intense butter flavor every time you drink it.
Okay. I
think if you aerated it, it would dilute it out.
Okay. Well, if I have one and I like it, I'll have another and I'll try it that way and see what the difference is.
Let me know.
Just to see if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I'll do it the original. I'll do it your way first, just to compare and contrast.
Good man.
There's no way I'm gonna not try it though.
Right. Anyway, I think that is going to do it for episode 363 of Talking Heads. If you want to join the after party, join the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. That will get you access to my Discord server. Every week, immediately following the show, we have an after party where we literally just get on voice chat and hang out. And it's always a good time. Video chat with me, ask me questions, talk about the show, talk wherever the conversation happens to lead. Salted or unsalted butter? I don't know.
I was just going to ask. That was a good question.
Yeah.
I think salted. Salted, you need salt to it.
I think salted.
If you want that buttery crust type of flavor that you mentioned, it must be salted.
Yeah. Yeah, we typically get salted, so I bet I'm using salted.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, join the Discord, join the Patreon. Every amount you contribute helps content like this. It helps me stay on the air. It helps keeps the lights on around here. Keeps a family of 5 fed. It's not a bad deal. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. Next week we will be on Thursday at 6 p.m. December 26th, day after Christmas. So join us for what should be a very festive amount of beer openings.
Yeah.
And as always, we'll see you next week.